Well, well, well. Good morning. Excellent sitting. You see the grown-ups over there? I want you to teach the grown-ups exactly what it means to sit quietly and pay attention. Well done. How's your morning been? So, I'm Trish. I get to come here every day. I work here. And if you're not happy about anything, you can call me up or send me a text or an email because I'm the president. So occasionally they let me make decisions. So how many of you have never been here before? This is your first time. Raise your hand. So welcome, welcome, welcome. And how many of you have been here before? Nicely done. I'm glad to see that you have all had an opportunity, and I hope you come back many, many, many times. So this is a very special day. And we're going to have a very important conversation. But first, I want to recognize our 3 schools that were here. So, do I have some second graders from Inquiry Charter School? Shout out. And are there some 3rd graders from McMichael Elementary? And do I have some 4th graders from St. Rose of Lima? So do you remember a couple of weeks ago, some folks from the museum came to your classrooms? Do you remember that? Okay. And I think they talked to you about what it means to be a well done. And also how right now all of the citizens, the grown-ups, are getting ready to vote to elect the next mayor, which will be, do you know what number mayor this is going to be? Who said it? Go ahead. Well, 100. It'll be the 100th mayor of our city. And in a few minutes, you're going to meet the 2 candidates who are running for mayor. And I know you learned this in your lesson in your classroom, and you'll be talking about it, what it means to run for election and how people vote to pick the next mayor. Now, who remembers these? Are these your worksheets from school? And you asked the question of what would you do if you were the mayor of Philadelphia? So, just wanted to thank you for doing that assignment. Now, behind me is a remarkable mural. Does anyone know who the gentleman is in the middle? How about this little boy over here that you were first? Martin Luther King, excellent. It is Dr. King, and we all celebrate his work every year in January. And this is an image of a very important speech that Dr. King gave many, many, many years ago. And this year, as this museum celebrated Dr. King, 500 children and families shared their hopes and dreams for the city of Philadelphia. And many of them are depicted on the mural in the silhouettes here. Who's the team at Please Touch Museum who made this mural come to life? Can you stand for 1 minute, please, so we can applaud your work? Come on. Come on, guys, don't be shy. Sean, well done. Because if you sometimes maybe want to work in a museum, maybe 15 or 20 years from now, people will applaud for you for your work. Wouldn't that be amazing? So, I think it's very important because you are very important people. You are the future of your neighborhoods, of our city, of the country, and the world. And so, raise your hand if you think it's important that the 2 candidates for mayor hear from the children of Philadelphia about what they want to have happen. Don't be shy. All right, so in a minute, you're going to get a chance to share your hopes and dreams with the candidates. And thank you to the principals and the teachers. Anyone who's a teacher or a principal in school, please stand. Please, please stand so we can recognize you. We entrust you every day with the best and brightest in these children, and thank you for all that you do. I really also want to thank the Lenfest Institute for Journalism and the William Penn Foundation, who helped make the children's mayoral conversation possible through the Every Voice, Every Vote initiative. So, before we bring up a celebrity in her own right, Tamala Edwards, I want to introduce Please Touch Museum's Amira Ali. Where are you, Amira? Come on up, dear. There you go.
Thank you. Good morning, friends. Do we remember me? So I know you've seen me this morning a lot, but you also saw me a few weeks ago in your classrooms. So if you have not met me, my name is Amira Ali, and I did some really wonderful work with these kids, doing a really beautiful lesson on civic engagement. And I'm wondering if before we meet these candidates, if we do a little bit of a refresher. So do we remember what it means? What does the mayor do? What's the mayor do? The mayor helps pick and choose what Philadelphia needs to work on. That's a great answer. What about a citizen? What's a citizen do? She said that a citizen can prepare to be a mayor, and then the mayor has to follow directions and keep the environment clean. That's a really good answer. We also talked about a model citizen. Do we remember what it means to be a model citizen? What's that mean? What's that mean to be a model citizen? Model citizens can help people build stuff. They take care of each other in their neighborhoods, right? So as you can see, these kids were already fully loaded with answers before I got there. They're brilliant children that have really, really great things to say. So I'd like to introduce you to a friend of the Please Touch Museum. You might see them on TV if you watch the news with any grown-ups or family members at home. So I'm going to have you say a big good morning to 6ABC's Tamala Edwards, and she's going to do a lot of talking to you today and might even see what some of your work has looked like. Did you want to start with good morning?
Good morning. Look at all of you beautiful young people. You know what? I have two young people in my life. I have two boys, Max and Rocco, and when I look into your faces, I see theirs. Are you guys excited to be here this morning? Do you see me sometimes when you're getting ready for school? Yes, and what am I doing? I'm telling you everything going on in the city, in our state, in our nation, in our world, and I love that. When I was your age, I loved to read and I loved to learn, and I loved to wonder what I would do one day and what I would be like as a grown-up. And so I hope, even though I was someplace else, I was growing up in Texas, but I would look at the news and I was like, what would it be like to be able to ask all those questions and get some answers? So today, you guys are going to get to ask questions and get some answers of people who are going to be our next mayor. I hear you've been learning about mayors and what they do. Is that true? Yeah. Do you know what mayors do more than anything else? What? So she said they take care of the environment, they listen to people who have requests, and they do a lot of things, and you're right, their job is to listen to everybody and then lead. Figure out what is the best thing to do. So today, both of the candidates are going to listen to you guys and get some of your ideas about what they should be thinking about and what they should do. And when you see the two people on this stage, do you know what I want you to do? I want you to remember that both of them at one point were in your seat. They were young people going to school, trying to figure it out, trying to think about what they were going to do next, and now they've grown up into this position. And one day, I would love to see one of you up here running to be mayor. Wouldn't that be great? Do you think you'd have some good ideas? I think you would too. So let's get going. The first person you're going to hear from is running as the Democratic candidate. Her name is Cherelle Parker. She has an 11-year-old named Langston. She knows what it is to have somebody else be her boss at home, just like you guys do with your parents. But she's going to come up and say a few words to you, and we're going to ask her some questions and get going. So, Councilwoman Parker, please come join us. So we're going to ask you a few questions about you, and you can stand here, you can stand there, whatever you want to do. Okay. Where did you go to school?
I went to elementary school at Rowan Elementary School at 19th and Haynes Street. I went to middle school in the Northeast at Austin Meehan Middle School. And for high school, I went to the greatest high school in the city of Philadelphia. It was called the Parkway Program High School, Center City at 11th and Market.
I want Ms. Parker to tell you guys something. It was an essay you wrote in high school that got a lot of people paying attention to you. Tell them that their work matters.
Oh, it really, really does. I wrote an essay about my life because I had experienced some tragedy as a child. My biological mother passed away when I was 11. My grandparents raised me. And damn, it was a teacher who said to me, Cherelle, I can only imagine the kind of emotions that are going through you. You should write a speech about your life and share it. And I wasn't sure. I was nervous. She said, you can do it and you'll be surprised how many other people it will inspire. I did it. I won this contest in the school district of Philadelphia. And boy, oh boy, it just opened up my whole entire world.
And here she is running for mayor. Now, what was your favorite subject in school?
Well, this one is an easy one because I'll tell you guys, while I am a candidate for mayor, I am a certified secondary English teacher by profession. So English was my favorite subject. I love to read, I love to write, I love poetry.
And what is your favorite thing about Philadelphia?
My favorite thing about Philadelphia is the resilience of our people and our neighborhoods, that no matter what they experience in life, sometimes things will go good, go well, and sometimes things won't go so well. But when people keep pushing and keep fighting, I love that about our city and about each of you, our resilience.
We're a World Series, Super Bowl kind of city, don't you think?
Go Phils, go Eagles.
Go everybody.
Sixers.
Well, for those who may be watching on live stream, we just want to remind you that we've got 3 schools here, including Inquiry Charter, McMichael Elementary, and St. Rose of Lima. And we want to thank the museums, the Please Touch Museums Learning Team, because they went to all of these schools to discuss what does it mean to be mayor, and now we get to give the kids an opportunity. So first of all, I am looking for Jacqueline from St. Rose of Lima, because we know the kids have worksheets. Oh, come on forward. I'm going to come to you, and we're going to let you come here, and so that way you can look at her and ask your question. So why don't you tell me what you want to ask her about?
Has it been your dream to be mayor?
It has been a part of my dream. Once I learned that government could help people, I thought about people like me. And I was a legislator, and I loved making laws and helping to make changes in neighborhoods. But then one day, I said, I'm going to work hard to become the mayor because I want to be the executive so that I can actually fix things. And that's what made me decide to do it. That's a great question.
Jacqueline, show her your worksheet, because on it we know that he asked, what would you do to stop the violence and make the city safer and fix the streets?
Tell me your name again.
Jaquin.
Jaquin, that's an excellent question. And it's part of the reason why I did decide to run. Because I want every young person like you, no matter where you are born in life, no matter who takes care of you, your mother, your father, aunt, uncle, or grandparents, like those who took care of me, I want you to have access to opportunity. And I think if we do that and we work to build a relationship with the people who put their lives on the line every day to support us in our police department and focus on educational opportunities like what you're doing here today, I think that we can reduce violence and totally eliminate it. But we all have to work together to do it.
Thank you, Jaquin. Layla from McMichael, do you want to come up here to me? Where's Layla? Oh, come on, Layla. on, sweetheart. Come stand next to me. And what would you ask Miss Parker?
What's her favorite dream?
What would you do if you could do anything other than be mayor? What's your dream?
Oh, my dream. Well, I love fixing things. At the root of who I am, I know we have like lots of challenges and problems, but in my heart of hearts, I'm a fixer. I would be a chief fixer. I like fixing complex problems and bringing people together to help fix those problems. Economic development, like I love seeing businesses grow. I love seeing a diverse group of people own businesses. So I would be an all-around fixer if I had it my way.
And Layla, on your worksheet, I think you asked about something that I love, which is books. You like libraries, don't you? And she wants to know about accessibility and that resource in the community and what you would do to expand it.
Well, I love this question because libraries are essential. And these days, libraries are a whole lot more modern than they were when I was growing up. I think about libraries and a Dewey Decimal System comes to mind, right? But now there's technology, there's homework help, there are work groups that could come together. We have to be very creative about supporting libraries and the dynamic folks who run them, our librarians. So I'm a proud supporter of libraries, and I was even a proud supporter of libraries when they were proposed to be closed here in our city of Philadelphia. I stood up and said we need to do everything that we can to keep them open, and if it's God's will and I become the mayor, the first woman, the 100th mayor of the city of Philadelphia, I'm going to make libraries one of my priorities.
Oh, Layla, good question. And we have a child from Inquiry Charter. Katai, are you nearby? Come on, Katai. Look at that big smile. Come on over here. What's your question for Ms. Parker?
If you could change anything in Philadelphia, what would it be?
That's probably a long list.
Gosh, if I could change anything in Philadelphia, what would it be? One, I would definitely stop the violence that we see in our city. If I could wave a magic wand and it all be over. But because I know that it takes a whole lot more than us doing one thing, the one thing I would do is put people on a path to self-sufficiency. What does it mean? I would want everyone to be able to own their own home, and it's comfortable. Everyone to be able to go to work every day, to a job that allows them to pay a wage where they could take care of their families and be proud and have hope and dignity, health care, and then I want everybody to have some money in the bank for a rainy day. That's economic self-sufficiency for me. That's what I would want. And that was an excellent question.
And Ms. Parker, he also asked about keeping the city clean, because we know when people look around and the city is dirty and run down, it impacts how they feel about themselves. Is that something you're thinking about in our neighborhoods?
Listen, one of the things that I promised on the campaign trail, and my platform was very simple. I wanted to make Philadelphia the safest, the cleanest, and the greenest big city in the nation with economic opportunity for all. Because I get really mad when I hear people call our city a mean name. I've heard people call us Philadelphia, and it really makes me angry. So how do we clean up our city? We clean up our city by hiring people and asking them to help us clean our streets, help the people who pick up trash, our sanitation workers, and we clean in and around our houses. And I'm gonna work to make that a priority because clean streets matter.
And you know what we can do, Katai? When we see trash, we can pick it up. We can tell other people, don't mess my city up, put that in the trash can. So we're gonna all help in that effort. That was a great question, thank you. So you've gotten to hear some of what was on their mind. What do you think of their questions?
I think they're all packed with potential and possibility, whole lot of hope and pride that I'm feeling right now. And if we get it right for the young people who are here today, just think, traditional public, traditional charter, and parochial, all together, learning together. This is what I'm interested in doing as mayor. And when they all look at me, it's important that each of you know that I didn't have everything perfect during my childhood. My life was a little different, but no matter what, I was able to keep pushing because there were people like the teachers who were in here. I'll tell you a secret, I was a cheerleader. I ran track, so I had coaches and uncles and cousins, a village of people who really believed in me. And when I look at you, I know what I need to do. I need to make sure each and every one of you is connected to the Philadelphia village somehow. And if I win, I'm going to do that.
All right, let's give Councilwoman Parker a big round of applause. She's going to head out after taking a picture with you. Let's go into the crowd, and then we'll have some wiggle time, I hear. Where do you want us to stand for the picture? Here we go.
You want me to stand here? Okay.
Could you stand up for me? Would that be okay, teachers? Thank you.
Great questions, guys.
Getting some light here. There we go. Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3. There we go. Beautiful. One more. One more for the left. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you all for being such a great audience and those wonderful questions. Thank you.
All right. Guys, are you ready for part 2? We now have the Republican candidate for mayor of Philadelphia. His name is David Oh. Come on out.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. How are you?
He also has 4 kids in Philadelphia. 2 boys, 2 girls. Tell them the ages.
Well, my oldest is 16. Then I got a 14-year-old, a 12-year-old, and a 9-year-old.
So you know who's the boss in the household. It's these guys, not you, right?
Yes.
All right, so let's ask him some of the same questions. Where did you go to school in Philadelphia?
Well, I'm from Southwest Philadelphia. Anybody from Southwest? Okay, well, I went to Longstreth Elementary School around 58th and Willows. That's a public school. And then I went to Turner Middle School. That's around 59th and Baltimore Avenue. And I would have gone to Bartram, but I had to go to school outside the city for 1 year. And then I went to Central High School.
And what was your favorite subject?
My favorite subject? I can't recall. I don't think I had a favorite subject. I was not a bright kid, and I really didn't do too well in school.
Well, then people will always, some kids are like that. Tell them what it is you think that helped you achieve, even though your grades may not have said that.
Well, I think I was bright. I think so. I could learn things quickly, but I would forget them really fast. And I really didn't pay much attention in school, and I think I was maybe born that way a little bit. But over time, through trial and error, making mistakes, I call it the land of regret. You know, like I did things and I kind of regretted where I was, and I'd try again, and eventually I was able to focus on the fact that I needed to prepare more. I need to work harder. I need to apply myself. And, you know, if somebody was going to start something, I'd start way ahead of time, and I'd make a little checklist to make sure I didn't forget, because I'm careless by nature. And so I really kind of like practiced disciplining myself so that I would study and work well.
What is your favorite thing about the city of Philadelphia?
My favorite thing is the people. You got all kinds of people in this city, every size, every shape. But one thing is all the people are kind of the same, right? They all want to be somebody. And I think everybody, yourselves included, is a somebody developing. We're all somebody, and we're trying to be that somebody at some point in our life. And so right now, you're kind of discovering who you are, what you're good at, what you do well, and you know, you're going to go through that process, but if you stick with it, you will be that person you are supposed to be.
And look at Councilman O, he's running for mayor.
I'm running for mayor.
Proof positive. So let's get some of their questions. Nyasia, are you here? All right, this is Nyasia, and she's got her worksheet. What is your question for the councilman?
My question is it hard to run for mayor?
Is it hard to run for mayor? So the answer is yes and no. Here's what's hard. Nobody thinks you can win, in my case, right? Nobody thinks I can win. And before I even start to race, they say, oh, this guy can't win. And they don't want to help me. So that's kind of hard, right? But on the other hand, it's really easy. All you have to do is quit your job and run. And as soon as you're in the race, you're off doing the things you want to do. So I think the easy part is this. I don't really concern myself with what other people think. I just look at the things myself, I see a pathway, and I move forward, and I am undeterred. I have great faith that anything is possible if you put your mind to it. And I'll say I'm a religious person, so if God wills it, it shall be done. And whatever happens, whether I win or lose, it's the right thing. But I have to do my best. I cannot do anything less than my very best.
Now, she's got this beautiful worksheet, and she asked about playgrounds. She said she would build a playground and make it safe for kids and allow all kids on her playground. I think that's a question for a lot of kids in our city. When the playground may not be safe or accessible,
Yes.
What would you do?
So what I would do is I would separate, this is a little complicated, I would take the Department of Parks and Rec, and I would separate rec from parks. I would have big parks where we would have a separate funding stream to maintain all our big parks, but the smaller parks, probably where you go, that would have a lot more community involvement and a level of autonomy for each one of the community members to shape those parks the way they are. But recs would come out and ensure that all the play equipment is up to date, safe, and designed properly for each area. So it'll not only be for children, but also for seniors and young adults and adults. We'll kind of mix that up, but we have to have the proper funding, and that's what I will have to secure as mayor. Make sure we have the money and the resources, but what you're saying, I agree with completely. There's a lot of unfairness in our city, where there are beautiful recreation facilities in some parts of our city, and really just kind of dilapidated recreation facilities like where I live, and they have to be repaired so that everyone has a clean, good, safe facility.
All right. Thank you for that, our student from McMichaels. And now let's bring up Kalia from Inquiry. Kalia, where are you? Come on over here, Kalia. And I know you've got your worksheet, and tell me your question.
My question is, would you help homeless people get a house?
That's a good question. She said, would the mayor help homeless people get a house? So yes, but I'm going to layer it a little bit. I'm, first of all, responsible for people who live in our city. And the first thing I would do, I would stop the assessment process of property taxes, because I think they're illegal in my opinion, because we did an independent audit. That means we looked at it, and we found that the way they do the property taxes are what's called below industry standard. They're unreliable. And we're overtaxing people, particularly in the poorest, most crime-ridden sections of our city. I think if we tax the properties fairly, we would lower a lot of the taxes so we wouldn't be making people homeless. The next thing is we have to do something about affordable housing. And the way we do it right now, we spend too much money on very expensive homes in very expensive neighborhoods. And I would move that into the areas where people live and need housing. And then finally, we have to have shelters, and we have to divide between those who are homeless because they have like financial issues and temporary problems, and they need a temporary help, and they want to stay with their children. That's a big problem in our city. We don't let adults and children stay together for lack of facilities. The second group of people, they have mental and emotional issues. Sometimes they're drug addicted and they need a specialized type of help. But the final part of it, for everyone in our city who is coming here and leaving behind all the resources of their hometown, their home counties, I'm going to take care of their folks and send them a bill, because we cannot afford to provide for all the homeless in our city, and we are not providing for them currently. But I will want their hometowns and home counties to step up and take care of their homeless population.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you for that, Kalia. And now we've got Haley, who's from St. Rose of Lima. Haley, where are you?
Right behind you.
There you are. You're right behind me. How are you, Haley? What is your question for David Oh?
My question for David O is, why do you want to be mayor?
Oh, why do I want to be mayor? Well, I feel like our city is not going in the right direction. Me personally, I think our city has too much violence, too many shootings, not enough response from our government. And personally, I just think our government is doing a bad job. You could look at it in so many obvious ways, like, for example, look at the schools in our city, right? Some of them have great resources, some of them don't have much. That's actually illegal, it's unconstitutional, should be corrected. It hasn't been corrected in a long time. The first thing, people want to be safe, but we have different policies that I disagree with, and I will ensure that people are safe. We are short on police. I want to hire them. I want to distribute them so they're visible. I want them to be active. But the police need to be better trained and better equipped so that everyone feels that the police are there to serve them and the police are very friendly to them. And we have ways of ensuring that everybody is accountable and responsive to the needs of the people. So once we get a safe city, I believe we could then have a clean city, because you need to enforce cleanliness, traffic laws, quality of life laws, and things like that. So I would like to go in a different direction than our city is currently going. And on council, when I was there, I fought a lot of the issues in our city, because I would say one of the biggest lawbreakers in our city is city government, and it needs to comply with the law and not bully people.
All right. Thank you for your question, Haley, and thank you, Councilman
Thank
Oh.
you very much.
Why don't you come with me? We're going to take a picture with the kids.
All right. I'm going to do a magic trick. It's the only one I know. You see my card?
Yay!
Oh, you found it. All right. Thank you.
Come on,
It's
guys, stand
not
up.
really
Let's
magic,
take a
is it?
picture. You can stand here. She's going to grab it.
Okay. Why don't you come up here? I don't want to block anybody. All right. All right, everybody, have a great day. You've done wonderful and so attentive, too. Fantastic.
Thanks, guys. It was fun being here with you today.
Must
How
have good
about a big
teachers.
round
I don't
of
know.
applause for Miss Edwards for being here. And for our two candidates, Mr. O and Ms. Parker. And in a couple more weeks, we'll know. Okay, one more time, thank you to our friends at the Lenfest Institute for Journalism and the William Penn Foundation. This has been a remarkable time. I hope you learned something. I hope you feel like you had a chance to talk to a grown-up and say what you really want for our city. And now, after that, raise your hand if you think someday you might want to be the mayor of the city. Okay. Well, that means you have to listen and learn and pay attention. All right. I think that this amazing group of kids at these wonderful schools have earned the following: lunch and some carousel rides. So, Amira, you get to do the fun part.
In just a second, we're going to get ready to stand up and go to lunch, but we're going to do this in a way where I'm going to call one group at a time so that you guys are not all moving down like those little throughways at the same time, because there are a lot of you, but a little bit of space. So my friends from St. Rosalima, I'm going to have you stand up, okay? And in just a second, you're going to go with Sean, if you remember Sean, and he's going to take you to our carousel house. You'll have lunch, you'll have a carousel ride, and that'll be all before you guys get a chance to head back downstairs and get on the bus. Okay, sound good? All right, you can follow Sean, he'll take you over. I would have thought y'all were a little hungrier than that. You're welcome. All right, once our friends from St. Rosalima have started walking a little further, my friends from McMichael are gonna stand up also. You're gonna follow Rachel. All right, and you're gonna go the same exact way. You'll have lunch, you'll have carousel. Remember to use those walking feet, okay? Do you wanna keep it? Okay, she'll give it back to you, okay? All right, and then my friends